Hello, welcome back to another fantasy football video. Hope everyone is doing fantastically well here with another video ahead of the 21-22 FPL campaign. Going to be dropping these videos every single night at 9 PM, so make sure you are there. Today we're going to be looking at differentials, specifically at defenders. You know, those defenders who are just a little bit outside of the box. Obviously all the players in this video will be below 10% ownership, with some gems in there that are below 1% owned. If you're new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you do enjoy this kind of content, and let's go straight on into this one. So the first player we are looking at today is Kieran Tierney of Arsenal, coming in at 5 million in price and 8.5% ownership. Now, he looks pretty good in terms of his attacking stats. You know, he got 4 attacking returns last season with an expected goal return of 0.17 and 22 bonus points. We do know Tierney is a very attacking fullback, especially when he is kind of utilised in that wing back position when Arsenal decide to pay a 3 at the back. Their defensive stats aren't actually particularly bad. They picked up 12 clean sheets with an expected goals against of 1.34, which is kind of just above average. Obviously, in terms of their fixtures though, for the first 3 fixtures it doesn't look incredible, with obviously those Chelsea and Manchester City fixtures. You could bring him in as that kind of, you know, first day against Brentford and then maybe rotate him out and bring him back in for the Norwich game. From game week 4 onwards, Tierney looks like a cracking option as Arsenal's fixtures do get much better. Also, in terms of Arsenal, they are looking to kind of bolster up their defence in the summer transfer window, with a lot of kind of talk around them bringing in Ben White. If they do bring in a kind of better defensive asset or better defensive player ahead of the start of the season, that makes Tierney an even better asset going into this FPL season. So I definitely think Tierney will be one to watch out for through this season. Now, the next player we are looking at is Virgil van Dyke, recovering from injury and hopefully will be playing at the start of this season, coming in at 6.5 million and 9.6% ownership. He does just about scrape the barrel in terms of what we would consider a differential. Obviously, we don't have any kind of attacking stats or bonus points for Virgil, as he did not play in the previous season. However, we can look at Liverpool's general stats, and they managed to pick up 12 clean sheets without him, with expected goals against of 1.19, which is actually in the top 4 of expected goals against. So even without Virgil, the defence looked very good last season, and with him coming in and Konate as well, they could be very good in terms of keeping clean sheets. And we all know that Virgil does love a header, and who better to score a header against than Norwich. I'm pretty sure he has a decent record against Norwich of actually scoring goals as well. So definitely a pretty good option in terms of a differential against the likes of Robertson, against the likes of Trent. A lot of people are going to be going for those boys. You know, if you can save yourself 0.5 or 1 million by going for VVD, and he's probably very likely to score similar points as well, I think he looks like a good option. And obviously, Liverpool's fixtures are generally for the start of the season do look very good. So I think VVD is definitely one to consider in your teams this year. Now, the next player we are looking at is Rudiger from Chelsea, coming in at 5.5 million and 6.9% ownership. I actually thought his ownership would potentially be a little bit higher. Obviously, Chelsea had the best defensive record when Tuchel joined in the summer. Obviously, they had expected goals against last season of 1.12, which is only worse to Manchester City. But as I say, when Tuchel joined, they had a much better, or not a much better, but a better defensive record than Manchester City did. He got 1 attacking return, an expected goal return of 0.08 and bonus points of 9. So we're not necessarily expecting Rudiger to be getting too many attacking returns from us. He does like to pick up a couple of bonus points though, which could be nice. Maybe like the odd bonus point when they have a good 1-0 performance and he's getting himself kind of really involved. They picked up 18 clean sheets, and it's definitely noticeable when Rudiger plays in that Chelsea team, and when he doesn't, the defense is just so much better. And I think he's an integral part and a really good way in. In terms of that Chelsea defence, you've got other options like Reece James at 5.5 million, you've got Azpilicueta, and you've got Chilwell. For me, Rudiger's the best way into that defence. Not only is he cheaper than the likes of Azpilicueta and Chilwell, but I think he's more likely to play. Chelsea have a mixed bag of fixtures in terms of their kind of first 5 to 10 fixtures. They have an okay start, obviously, against Norwich and Arsenal. Not the most favourable fixture against Liverpool, then Aston Villa. They have then a bit of a turn of bad form, but then come game week 7, they had go on a really, really good run of fixtures. And one thing I have learnt from the last season is that you should be going for defenders who, well, from teams that can actually keep clean sheets. And that may sound like a very simple statement to make, but I kind of fell in the trap too much last season of going for, say, a Newcastle defender, a Palace defender when they had a more favourable fixture, rather than going for a Chelsea player, maybe a Manchester City player, the teams that can actually keep the clean sheets against the teams that you wouldn't necessarily expect them to. So the next player we are looking at here is Castan, the Leicester boy, coming in at 5.5 mil, and we're dropping the ownership a bit here, going down to about 4% ownership. He did pick up 5 attacking returns with expected goals of 0.15 with 7 bonus points. Now, he absolutely came flying out of the blocks at the start of last season. I think he picked something like 3 assists up in his first 3 games, something silly like that. So if he can replicate that kind of form going into this season, then he could be a cracking option to pick up at the start. Bit of a mixed bag of fixtures, but you could kind of make an argument for Wolves or West Ham being green fixtures, or even potentially for West Ham to be a red fixture. You know, Wolves, I'd potentially go for a green, and West Ham maybe a red, which would mean you'd have a kind of green red fixtures. After that, Leicester's fixtures do look pretty good. Leicester, very kind of average team in terms of Leicester, a pretty decent side in terms of clean sheets. They picked up 11 clean sheets last season, but were on the upper end in terms of the expected goals against. Obviously, Castan can play on both sides, the left and the right, which makes him very, very versatile and likely to play whenever he is fit. Leicester are going to have quite a few kind of options on those fullback positions once the likes of James Justin does get fit, but with Leicester they always seem to have injuries, Castan obviously being one of them, so definitely something to consider. But if you want a differential who could potentially come flying out of the blocks, defender wise, I think Castan does actually look like a pretty decent option going into the start of the season. And the final player we have here is Saiss from Wolves, coming in at 5 million with 0.7% ownership. He is a real gem, or potential gem. He got 3 attacking returns last year with expected goal return of 0.15. So the same as the attacking fullback Castan, with 11 bonus points and 10 clean sheets. Obviously, Wolves a little bit below average in terms of their expected goals against, obviously with not the best start to the season, playing against Leicester, then Spurs, then Manchester United. I will say, when it hits game week 4, Wolves go on an absolutely beautiful run of fixtures. Saiss, very, very dangerous from a set piece, and I do like the look of him. Obviously, we are yet to see whether he does get a starting position under the new manager, so probably for me will be a wait and see on Saiss. But if he is looking good come game week 4, I think he does look like a very, very good option to go for. Maybe even better than their kind of attacking fullbacks, even the likes of Semedo. To be fair, if Johnny is fit, or when he does get back to fitness, coming in at 4.5 million, could be a very cracking option. Was tempted to mention him here, but I'm going to go with the player who could actually have the potential of playing at the start of this season, and is pretty good for attacking returns as well. Saiss, I think, coming in at 0.7% ownership, could be a gem going into the start of this season. So if you have enjoyed this quick little look at differential defenders, please don't forget to hit that like button. Let me know down in the comments the players that you are kind of considering as your differentials, and what defenders are kind of, catching your eye in terms of the players that, people aren't really talking about. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.